drunk. Gary, are you driving?
Oh,
oh wait, that's what is that? All right.
There's probably some more questions from the crowd. Thank you, Guillermo, for teaching us a fun new trick.
Any more visual questions? Okay, so regular verbal questions. Yes, that hand right there.
You want Mike Magnola to do one? He would take off his clothes after 20 minutes. That is a powerful drink.
Okay, yes, that hand right there.
So, the troll market, fantastic.
Thank you.
There's a lot of monsters in there, as you said. I would love to hear from Mike and Guillermo what your favorite monsters are. And Doug, for all the monsters you've played, I would love to see what your favorite monster move has been.
Wow.
Well, the troll market was perhaps the most complicated set to build. And it was built in a quarry, a massive giant quarry that run by kilometers into the ground. And you know, originally we budgeted to be a freestanding set, but once again it was like $50 million. It was almost all the fucking budget. I think they were made, my budget was made by Dr. Evil. $50 billion. You know, but the troll market, we ended up finding this cave that was being used to raise mushrooms. Not the kind of mushrooms you guys respond to, like boring champignons. You know, but, so we went in there and built that. We used a lot of architectural details from a Far Orient, Arabic, Mesopotamic, Eastern Europe. We mixed everything. Little doors, big doors, to give a sense of space. And then we put 20 performers in suits and 500 extras. And between the 520 of them, there was not a single motherfucker with a deodorant bar. They have never heard of genital hygiene. It was like a dead horse populated with a vulture. Died again. And you know, after 2 days of shooting in that beautiful environment, steamy, hot, stinky, everybody became sick. I still have a pulmonary sequel from the battle with the vulture guards. I'll proceed to demonstrate. Seriously, I'm gonna exhale and you'll hear it. This fucking shit comes from the guard sequence. So we shot there. My favorite monster of all the bunch is the only monster that gets kind of a close-up, which is the tentacled fish bender. You know, because I just love tentacles. I gave him his own close-up because I loved him. We created this little guy where Abe sees him chopping the head of a fish. And I did the voice for all the monsters in the movie. So I voiced that guy. I voiced every monster in the troll market, the Tooth Fairies, Wink, a little bit of the Elemental, the Golden Army, all of that. So my favorite is that one. Thank you. Right. And now Mike.
I have a boring answer. I mean, the monsters are great, but I love that set. I was on that set before they shot. Thank God I wasn't there during shooting. And I love that location. And you know, what kills me is that there are all these monsters running around. You don't get a really good, you don't get to walk around inside that set. It's just, it's just a beautiful set. And I know it's a terrible answer, but that's the best you're gonna get out of me.
Let's give him a drink.
Let's see those answers get funkier.
They go here what I really think of the troll market.
Yeah. You know, when I was writing, every time we came to that section, Mike would go dun 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 dun. And I tried as much as I could to shoot it in a different way than the cantina, because in the cantina, every monster gets a close-up. Every monster gets a little vignette, and I tried to shoot it like we were shooting in a real set, so that we would just see them passing by.
It's a frame-by-frame moment.
It is. If you watch the movie again and you watch the Tooth Fairy sequence or the Troll Market sequence, I always thought about Bill Elder in the old Mad magazine, how he filled the frame, or Mort Drucker. You know, all the frames in the corners there was something funny happening.
Or Jack Davis.
Or Jack Davis. You know, we have little monsters washing their hands with urine.
That's my favorite monster. I take it back. The guy with the two heads that look like French fries, that's my favorite monster.
Yeah, the Bogart.
Yeah.
And as for me, well, wow. Having played many creatures over the years, there have been several moves. I think the quiet, elegant ones are always a signature thing. But I think the favorite monster move ever was in a Guillermo del Toro film that went something like this.
Not that.
No.
So that was a home movie.
YouTube.
Now in new porn.
Okay. At the very back, in the center.
Guillermo, this is about Lobster Johnson. If you're able to squeeze him into Hellboy 3, do you have any particular actor that you might like to play him?
Yeah, Bruce Campbell.
Yeah!
If you know, if you master the very masterable Hellboy video game, you get the chance to play as Lobster Johnson at the end in the bonus level, and we created a Lobster Johnson that was voiced by Bruce. Oh. So if you reach that level in the game, every line he says is voiced by him.
Was Lobster ever going to be a part of this film, or was it always designed not to be?
There was a minute when they tried.
There was a minute when I told Mike, could we use him, and
I said no. Well, what the trouble is, it was because, before you lynch me, Johan was too expensive at one point, and he said, well, let's just swap him out for Lobster Johnson. I said, you got Johan with the gas and the opening locks and all this stuff, and that's not what Lobster Johnson does. So let's save Lobster Johnson for something else, and it's like saying, you know, well, we got the Superman and Batman, and Superman's too expensive, so we'll just swap out, you know, we'll use Batman. They're different guys. So that was my one moment of being different.
yeah, no, actually, also Mike said Lobster Johnson is too outlandish for the real world, but now the movie is more outlandish. I think something, yeah. But
And Johan is totally
Your version
practical.
of Lobster Johnson might have been too outlandish for the real world.
But I think that if there is a third one, it would be great to have him. I think because he's the